Yeah, hello. Yeah, good evening. So, Razi, your interview was scheduled now. So let's start. Just tell me about yourself. What are the roles and responsibility now you having, and what are the technology you are working?
Currently, I'm working.
Can you
Okay.
increase the volume? Yeah,
Yeah. So it is audible now.
yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
better.
So we are. So I'm working as a full stack developer in my current organization, IT. So in current organization, we are working on Spring Boot for backend, and for front end, we are using Angular JS application. Earlier in my previous company, I also get chance to work in microservice as well. So my current project is so in this what we are doing, we are developing application to work paperless. Currently they are doing their work by paper, so they are running node sheet and all. So same work we are putting in our web application, so they can work on that. So they have different roles, like assistant engineer, executive engineer, and sub engineer, engineer in chief. So I majorly worked on estimation part. So in that part, what a sub engineer will do, sub engineer will take requirement and fill details of estimation, like he has to put estimation of road work. So accordingly he will estimate and forward it to the higher authority, that is our executive engineer or assistant engineer. Then he will approve, and it will forward again for higher authority for approval and all. After estimation, we have administrative technical sanction, and after technical sanction we have administrative sanction, and then we have tendering and process work. After that we have billing module as well in current project. So majorly we are working on MySQL for storing our data.
Okay. Okay, okay, so let's start with our discussion. So in Java, do you know what is difference between array list and linked list?
Yeah, in array list, what we can, if you want to insert data in array list and delete it from middle. So if you want to delete, modify and delete operation, so we should go for linked list. If we want to fetching data and all, so we should go for array list. In array list, what happens, it will store like it has previous like it has next node address and all.
Okay. Um, so in array list, if I want to use some concurrent function, concurrent related work, I need to do some multi-thread. I need to code in multi-threaded environment. So then, which list we should prefer?
In array list, in multi-threaded environment, we have in concurrent, like copy on array list we have. Copy on write array list, I think we have in new packages, Java package. What happens if you are modifying while iterating, it will show concurrent
So
modification
how
success.
is copy on array list or copy on type list? So there are other also, right? Copy on array list, copy on linked list. So
Yeah.
how this internally work?
So it will works on it will not work on the current object, it will work on the copy of object. You can say it works on the clone. So we will be able to modify them.
Okay.
In HasMap it works on like the concurrent HasMap work like it works on segments. So it will divide our has map into different segments. While reading it will it won't lock, but in the case of writing it lock that particular segment. So performance becomes faster in this case.
Okay. So normal hash map how it internally works? Do you know?
Yeah, sure. In HashMap works on the concept of hashing. It will store our. It has a bucket-like concept. It will store our. Suppose we are putting some value, so it will work on like a key value pair. Whenever we are putting some value, it will calculate it has based on the key, and whatever the it will do some mod by capacity and all. After it will get some integer value, and suppose we will get 2, then it will store our object in second position. Suppose a collision occur, then it will check whether objects are same or not. If it is same, then it will replace. Apart from that, if objects are not same, then it will append. It will work as a linked list.
Uh, Sorry, can you come again? If objects are
If objects are same, like our key is same, then what happens? It will.
okay, so how this key same or key is different? How? So suppose in I have one hash map and I want to do a put operation.
Okay.
So I will write something like map dot put, then some key and value, right?
Okay.
So here what HashMap internally do, so when I execute this statement map dot put, what internally do, suppose I provided one key object and another value object.
So suppose is it custom object or predefined? If it is custom, then
Yeah, so for example it's a custom object.
okay. So for custom object, what we need to do, we have to override hash code and equals method, and we have to write.
No, that is different. Overriding those things, I'm not asking. I'm asking what HashMap do internally. So when HashMap received one key, suppose object O, then HashMap what it checks or how it stored the value.
So while we are putting the value in HashMap, what happens? It will calculate it has hash code first of all. So whatever the hash code it will receive, it will check the capacity of our hash map. Then it will do mode. Suppose our hash map has capacity of 16. So we whatever we do, we will do mode by 16. So we will get a number between 0 to 15. Suppose we get some number, so whatever the number we are receiving, it will put that object on that particular bucket index. Actually, meanwhile it will also check, suppose two hash code comes same, like after calculating and all, we will receive suppose 2. Then it will checks our object content or whatever we are writing in our equals method. So suppose if it equals, then it will not like it will replace that particular value, that particular index, bucket index.
Okay, so suppose for example I have one employee class.
Okay.
So in my employee class I have so I am overriding the hash code method and returning integer 1, and also overriding the equals method, and there I am returning false. So suppose I have 10 employee object for 10 different employee. Okay. So the employee class have employee name and ID. Those are different for each employee object. Now I want to store this employee object as a key of that hash map. It will work.
Yeah, I think you are returning one constant value in Hash code, and you are returning false. So yeah, I think it work, but performance degraded. I think actually what happens if you are returning only one, so all the object will store at the first index.
Okay. So so during fetching, so when I write like suppose I have 10 employee object which are stored in the map. Now I'll perform some get operation. So I'll write like map.get e5. E5 is for fifth number employee object. So then how it will return me the value or not? What do you think?
Case of fetching, actually it will calculate as store and it's false. I think every time our equals method will return false. Actually, I'm not sure about the fetching. I think our hash code method will return 1. It goes to first index and it will check for object. So it will always return false. I think it will not work in that case.
Mm. So then I'll get some exception, right? Because no key will be matching.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know any changes made in HashMap in Java 8 to overcome this performance related issue that we told?
Performance, yeah, in concurrent hash map we have like it divides our hash map into different segments. So for in Java it also it's not using linked list. Instead of that it is using tree structure for storing in the bucket for same key key index.
Yeah, so in Java 8 for HashMap internal structure we have some changes. So do you know what are those?
Sorry, I didn't get. And has map.
In Java 8
Yeah.
HashMap internal structure have some changes.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what are those?
Actually, I know this one only. It is internally using instead of linked list. It is using tree. Apart from that,
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So it's a simple tree or any specific kind of tree?
I think it's a binary tree.
Okay. So in Java 8 we have functional interface. Do you know what is functional interface?
Yeah. So the functional interface which have only one abstract method. So we can use it for a lambda expression. Single abstract method we have in functional interface.
Okay. So can I have multiple default method in a functional interface
Yeah, we can have.
or multiple static method?
Yes, we can have.
Okay. Okay. So in Java, what are the types of exception available?
Checked and unchecked exception.
So can you give some example of checked and unchecked?
Those are child of exception class are checked exception. It will show error at compile time. For unchecked exception, it is child of runtime exception.
Sorry?
Child of runtime exceptions are called as our unchecked exception. So
Okay, so can you give some example of checked and unchecked exception?
IO exceptions are checked exceptions. Null pointer are unchecked, I think. Actually, I forgot the hierarchy actually.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, so in Java we have serialization also, right?
Yes.
So do you know why we use serialization and what is used for that?
A little bit I know. Suppose we have to transfer our object into byte of string, so we should use serialization. For that, we should we should uh, implement our serializable interface in our class. We have classes available object read and object write. I think the class is responsible for writing our object into the file or string. So suppose if you don't want to not serialize, suppose if in our object some fields are available, and if you do not want to serialize that particular field, then we can use transient keyword there.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you used Spring Boot also, right?
Yes.
So which version?
We are using uh, 2 point something we are using. Earlier we have used 1.5.
Okay. What are the advantages of Spring Boot
Yeah,
over normal Spring framework or Spring framework based project?
yeah. Actually, what I observe in Spring Boot, it's faster than our traditional application. Previously, we have to what do we have to do? We have to resolve our dependency our own. We have to check each and every jar file. If we find some conflict, then it is very tedious task to solve. In Spring Boot, what happened? It has starter dependencies, so just we need to put in our form.xml, and automatically it has enable auto configuration also available to configure all our dependencies and objects uh, beans in in our applications. Apart from that, it has embedded Tomcat and to running our application as a standalone application. And apart from that, we have Angular CLI command line interface available, and Spring IO for creating our object, and uh, directly we can create object and by site, and we can download, and we can import it. So it will provide us a ready application and a simple dependency, like we have to import JPA, then we have to import Spring Starter JPA. If you want to implement security and all, so we have to import security starter dependency. So it will makes developer life very easy.
Okay. So in Spring Boot, we in normal Spring framework, we have Spring Bean or dependency injection related concepts, right? So what is dependency injection?
So dependency injection, suppose our bean required, suppose our class required another class object, so manually we are creating object by new keyword. We are injecting some other will provide us that particular object it is created on container. So for that we are using AutoWire, @AutoWire annotation. Suppose in our controller class we need a service class object. So what we are doing, we are auto wiring its interface. So it will check its implemented classes. If class is available, then it will inject that particular object in our controller class.
Okay, Spring Bean, what are the scopes available for a Spring Bean?
Five available. First is singleton. By default, our bean is singleton. If we have not defined. Second is prototype. Third is request. Fourth is session, and fifth is global session. So total five are available.
Okay, when we should create singleton bean and when we should create prototype bean? Can you give some example?
Suppose we need like single object, single instance across the application, then we should use singleton. If we required object change each and every time, suppose in the case of time changing every time, we are holding time in our object. So suppose if we are returning singleton, it will not work. So in the case of that, we have used prototyping. So it will return new object every time.
Okay, in Spring Boot, are you using Spring Data JPA?
Yeah.
Okay, we write the annotation at the rate transactional, right?
Yes.
So why this how this at the rate transactional annotation work?
Transaction annotation, it will suppose if we are inserting some data in our different tables, and suppose something happened wrong, it automatically roll back all the data internally. I think it work like it will begin the transaction. Suppose we have put in our method, same method, so I think it will begin the transaction. After at the end, it will check all the data properly inserted. If suppose some exception occurred, then it will roll back that particular data from tables. Suppose it successfully, then it will commit all the transactions.
Okay, I can. There are propagation levels also available. So do you know what are the propagation levels available for transaction?
Propagation like rollback can define as a parameter. In, propagation, I think I have used, but not that much frequently actually.
Okay. In Spring Framework, we have Spring Filters and also we have Spring Interceptor. Do you know what is difference between these two?
I think filters are our legacy servlet filters implementation, I think, and interceptors are improved of filters. So they have, I think, more functionality than the filters. These are works like suppose some request coming to us, and if we want to intercept that request data and all, we should use interceptor and all. For request all for incoming request also we can use filter. Suppose in JWT we have some filters suppose in while getting we have pre-filter, after processing we have post filter, so it will filter our each and every request. Interceptor I used in our Spring application for intercepting our request. So we can check whether user is authorized or not. After authorization and authentication, we forward to their dashboard.
Yeah, this okay, leave it. You you have used Spring Framework, which version?
Spring framework like 3.x earlier I worked, 4.x currently I work.
Okay. Okay, so suppose I have one REST service, and here my requirement is so I am returning some list of employee, and the service is fetching the data from database, and then returning to UI.
Okay.
So I have one suppose microservice kind of application. So I have service there, and from front end maybe Angular, I am requesting and getting those list of employee. So here every time I don't want to hit the database because these employee information do not change much. So in that case, what design approach I can go for?
Is suppose we can cache the data if you want, you don't want to move each and every time to database, so we can use caching. So I think Redis server we can use. Apart from that, cache in Hibernate and JPA we can configure. Second level cache we need to configure for it.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so in Spring Framework, we have Spring Cloud related packages for microservice. Did you work on those?
Like which type of API gateway?
Yeah, there are Spring Cloud related packages. So like Spring Cloud Config Server. So those things.
In my previous organization, I worked on like API gateway, that is Joule API gateway, and apart from that,
Okay.
yeah, cloud config server for configuration, all the properties file we can configure there, so common. Then we have authentication server, and for routing whatever request is coming, first it will land it up to the router, that is our Joule API gateway. After that, suppose we are forwarding it some authentication, or will go to the authentication server and will return, and then what we are doing, we are forwarding it to the respective, suppose we have to perform some fetching operation, so it will goes to that particular microservice, and it will check that if suppose something happens wrong, then we designed a circuit breaker, that is our for fallback we have fallback method we are writing.
So for circuit breaker, what we use?
uh, Name I forget, what we used
Hystrix.
Hystrix, yeah, Hystrix we are using. There we are writing fallback methods.
Okay. Okay. So in microservice architecture, so suppose I have one microservice architecture based project, and there I am seeing that there I am seeing that I need to call one microservice from another microservice, and I want to maintain that maintain the transaction also. Like if the first microservice is suppose I need to call three microservice, okay,
Okay, okay.
in a row. So I will be calling asynchronously, and I want to maintain the transaction between those microservices. So what approach I can follow? Do you know?
Mhm. For that, you want to manage transaction across all the microservices. So,
Yes.
okay, suppose one failed, then we have to roll back all. So, in that case, we should go for a saga design pattern, I think. So,
So what is this saga design pattern? How it works?
actually, I have not implemented, but I have studied for this. Uh, we have two approach available in Saga design pattern. Not able to actually recall that. So long back I developed, but we have not used transaction in our microservice. But I can implement.
Okay. Uh, okay, and so you also aware about AWS.
Mhm,
I see in your resume AWS, IoT, robotics, machine learning.
mhm,
So, what you have done these
mhm.
things, like what you have done in AWS, it's a huge thing, right? AWS. So,
Yeah,
in what? Yeah.
actually, it's my
So,
area of interest. Actually, for interest purpose, I am learning. But my previous company, we have deployed our application on EC2 EC2 server instance, and for majorly I used EC2 instance, and apart from that, we have used S3 bucket for our Angular application, and for database we have used RDS service. These services I used.
okay.
Mhm.
So, in IoT,
IoT in my previous company, what they have done project, and they have some device available that is beacon. So it works on the Bluetooth technology. So what happens? Suppose our Bluetooth is on in our mobile, it automatically send promotional messages uh, to them. Apart from that, we have also created one robot based on Python language. Like it uses OpenCV API, and what we are doing in our office, we are collecting images of like suppose my name is and I binding my data with, and we are training our models. uh, uh, it has some sensor, and it works on Raspberry Pi 3. So we have installed all the devices and software in it. uh, when I came in front of it, it will recognize me, that is or not, and it will say hello. So text to speech we have also implemented on.
okay. Okay, so for Python, you know also Python?
Actually, a little bit I know. For actually, it's a very easy language. So,
Okay.
so that
For machine learning and all, what are you means? Are you using any Cloudera or Hortonworks specific cluster, or what are you using, or Azure related? Means what you have used. So in machine learning, you have used Spark or what?
like machine learning, we have done at Android application level. Actually, our application was educational app, so we have to provide a student suppose he is writing something, so we have to recognize that. So for that we have implemented ML Kit of Google in our Android application. And
Okay, so Google API you have
yes,
used.
yes.
Okay, understood. Okay, fine. So you have experience in Maven build and all, right? Like multi-module build, and also you have experience with Ubuntu. So it's Ubuntu or any Linux you are using as development environment.
Currently we are not using, but in my first company I have started with Ubuntu, and there I used to work on Ubuntu.
So
That is,
how was your experience?
yeah, it was quite good. We have installed all the
So
application.
you have no issue working in Linux environment, right?
Yes, yes, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Rakesh, I am done from my side. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to know about the technology stack and what kind of projects you guys are using in your organization, so that I can improve my knowledge also on that.
Yeah, so mainly, if you did you check the Rockwell Automation website or anything
Yeah,
before interview?
I think it's a huge projects product they have. I think. So majorly they are working on automation and all.
Yeah. Yeah, so Rockwell Automation actually it's a product based company. So we have hardware product, also software product, and many more things. So among them we have one department called software and control. So there we have lot of control system related product also. It's electronics kind of, and software section we have multiple products. So we are working in all this recruitment is for software section. So we have multiple section in Rockwell Automation, like hardware, software, as I told. So this is for software section, and in software section we have multiple product like factory talk analytics. Also, if you check the website, the brand name is Allen Brandley, and we have factory talk, one legacy product, and so that product we also implemented in modern environment. Also, it's kind of a and we are working particularly we are working in the analytics related product. So it's a machine learning and analytics related product. So it's a kind of a, you can in short we can say like when suppose when you write Java code, you use Eclipse, right, to write your code,
Yes, yes,
or some other IDE or maybe Notepad.
yes, yes,
So here our product is used by data scientist to perform the machine learning or these related jobs.
okay, great.
So our product, as it's a product, it's have a lot of technology support. Means so our product is like we collect some data from some channel, then we process those data, do some operation on those data, then we sometime we apply machine learning related some algorithm, some models we implement and apply on those data. and then those data are at last emitted to some other place. So for this we support Apache, RabbitMQ, ActiveMQ, Kafka, any database, any type of database, Excel file, everything. Means you can select channel as a lot of type of source. And for machine learning related work, we are using Spark,
Okay.
and we also have PMML. Also, we have Python, Jupyter Notebook. Those things are there. So everything can be configured in our product, and there we can, like data scientists have can have multiple preference. Some people know Scala, some people know Python, some people do their coding in somewhere else. So we support everything, and then we also support the emitting channel like database or Excel file or to some FTP location or some messaging queue. So it's a analytics related product. It's under Factory Talk. You can find it in website. So yeah, that's pretty much. So yeah, in short, it's a huge product. So in short, this is it.
Yeah, thank you very much for your knowledge and all. Based on this discussion, I also improve my knowledge.
Yeah, Ashish. Okay, thanks. I'll be informing my feedback to HR team. Thank you. Nice talking with you. Bye.